Um, we're getting back into the freedom of speech thing, the amendments and all that. Something I covered last night, something that I really enjoy learning about. You know, as I said, learning about, not just watching, but actually learning about. That's my favorite part about these videos, is that I actually learn something from them. As I mentioned in a comment on my last video, I didn't just start watching these for fun. I actually started looking for these because I went through something similar. But this was way before I even knew that people were doing this on YouTube. Had I known this, I probably would have taken a camera, which I do now, everywhere I go. Just in case it ever happens again, I will, by God as my witness, post it on YouTube if it ever happens again. Now knowing my full rights. Not the rights that the police tell me I have, but my actual constitutional rights. You know, the real rights, not the made-up ones from your peace officers, the ones that like to make them up as they go to suit their needs. Well, somebody here on YouTube contacted me and told me they made a video. Well, I'm not going to say the channel's name only because I don't want this to be a drama fest. That's not what this is about. They make good points. I wanted to address the points they made in their video. By the way, during this video, you're going to find part 1 and part 2. I'm going to put 2 links in this video that you can go watch that will better help you understand where these guys are actually coming from. Yes, they are doing it to get attention, but the attention that they're getting, they're targeting, is to educate people like me that need it. So, as you watch these 2 videos, you'll find out that this guy, from beginning to end, was not bullied by a police officer. As a matter of fact, the police officer was clearly not on his side, but on his constitutional side. He was protecting his rights. He was actually upholding the Constitution. In other words, the police officer was honoring his oath that he took to become a police officer. But before all that takes place, you will notice that all the people that he talked to before the police officer arrived bullied him, lied to him, tried to get him to incriminate himself, tried to scare him away from his constitutional right, which is kind of similar to what happened to me. Now, I like to hear people say, well, you know what? Why do these guys have to go out into public and bait cops? I love that word, bait cops. Let me ask you a question. It wouldn't be possible to bait a cop if they didn't think that the cop would take the bait, now would it? What I'm getting at is, if you know that there's a chance that this cop is going to act out of line, isn't it better to expose that than to just naturally assume you should shut your fucking mouth and not offend a man with a badge and a gun because they said so? I'm sorry. I get offended all the time. It's my right to say something back. But as a citizen, you are supposed to be afraid of police. You are supposed to do as you're told. If they give you a command, you do it, by God. You jump. You jump as high as you possibly can. Don't you look back. Don't you cross them. That's the mentality I can't take. I don't want to say stand, but I can't take it. Because that's how I felt a couple times that I ran into police officers that figured instead of waiting for the truth, they just get me to say whatever it is they felt like I should say. Because at the time this happened to me, there was a person waiting for someone to blame, and I just happened to be there, and the police officer wanted to make sure I took the blame. Needless to say, the first time that happened to me, I said everything. I'm lucky I didn't get in trouble. I talked too much. Second time, I provoked my right to remain silent. I exercised it. I upheld it. I didn't get my driver's license. The police officer, wow, did he get upset. He did everything but rant and rave. He even pulled out his own camera on me. I think Honor Thy Oath, the channel that has these 2 links up in it, that's where I first learned how to exercise my constitutional rights. And then it rolls from there. But when you say bait a cop, yeah, I'm sure there's some of these guys out there baiting cops. But let me tell you something. Even the ones that are doing it just for fun, they're still teaching us all a valuable lesson. We don't have to actually just sit there and take it. You know, you don't have to. What you have to do is listen once in a while to people that have already been going down that road, have already had that problem. And sometimes you might learn something that'll benefit you. By the way, some of the people that actually complain about this, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular, but when they cry about all these guys that are making these videos and baiting the police, if you look deeper, you'll find out that these are the same people that used to complain about the police. I got pulled over for 60 and a 55. I did this, I did that. You know what? That's right. You broke the law, you got pulled over. These guys in these videos aren't breaking any laws. That's the point. They're not breaking any laws. They're proving a point that you don't have to break a law for a police officer to be a bully. And even when they find out that you're videotaping them, that's when they get quiet, because the truth hurts. Nobody wants the truth on their side when they're trying to incriminate you. Take it to the bank. These videos aren't harassing. Police officers took an oath and they said, I'm going to take the streets. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to put my life in danger. So I think the least of their worries is to be baited by a few guys with cameras getting up on YouTube to help other people understand, yes, you have the right to remain silent. You have the right not to be searched and seizured. You have the right to open carry. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. That's why they want you to talk, even when you're innocent. Why do you think police officers try to get the revenue up by speeders? Even knowing, have you ever seen a cop speed? Have you ever seen a cop speed? Did that not drive you crazy? I know it drives me crazy. I see it all the time. So are they above the law? Or do they simply know that if you turn them in, their buddies will take care of it for them?
Torpedo.